If you enjoy our show, spread the love wherever you listen by rating, reviewing, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff to help us get ourselves out there. And with that said, let's start the show. I'm Ode. That's Vicky. I'm me. You're you. We are we.
Oh my god, that was so corny.
The You, Me, We
goodness.
podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode. Vicky, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I said that slowly because I forgot how we intro the show, and because it's been a while for us. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We weren't here last week, but we are back, Vicky. So what's going on?
Nothing much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot's been going on, but
Which kind of brings us to today's episode, which we
Wait,
wanted. What?
Before you say
What did we
anything,
miss? Go ahead.
I would just want to apologize to anyone watching this video
Why?
because I really did attempt to be presentable today, but I just didn't think my hair would take this long to dry. And you know who I look like?
Who?
I look like this guy from Shrek. The hairstyle.
We'll put that on the screen.
Because my hair is flat right here and then it comes out. See?
It looks very what's her name? Denise from the Cosby Show. Or no, it's very Jasmine Guy-ish, kind of, with the...
I know who that is.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I know you only watch Sábado Gigante.
But it's annoying because usually my hair is up here.
Mhm.
But yeah, so it's very wet.
You look fine.
But at least my hair is combed. It doesn't look that crusty. I tried. A for effort.
Okay. So thank you for being transparent about that. That's my transition into our topic for the day.
I didn't ask you how you're doing.
You didn't care, so it's cool. I'm used to it by now. Huh. So Vicky, what are we talking about today?
Apparently we're too transparent on the show.
No, not that we're too transparent. We are transparent.
Oh, we are transparent. Okay.
Yes. And a friend of mine had reached out a couple times. He applauded us.
Well, I said too transparent as in too transparent than what other people would be.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's what I meant when I said it that way.
Yeah. So someone had mentioned that, hey, they applauded us for how transparent we get, and said it's cringy, it's cringeworthy sometimes listening to us talk. You and I get surprised when people say that because we know that although we may come off transparent, there's a lot that we
Don't say.
say
We hold back.
for legal reasons, for safety. I don't want to get beat up. I'm joking. Or for the sake of our peace, we sometimes don't bring certain things to the show.
And when you say that, just to clarify,
Yeah.
it's not our peace with outside people.
Mhm.
It's for our peace with each other.
So we can get through the show.
And we can get through the next week
Yes.
for the next show.
We sometimes choose to just,
We learned.
and I always say one thing that has helped with our transparency is our therapy, which
Keep it 100 about
Yeah.
the therapy. About our therapy journey.
okay.
Because we went to therapy.
Mhm.
First of all,
What?
it took us a long time. Two college-educated people. Years. Took us legit years to be like, I think we need couples counseling. Which was, and then I say it that way because it was so obvious from the beginning. We should have been able to think not objectively, to think crucially, right? Or what is it called? Critically.
Mhm.
We should have thought critically and been like, okay, we have a problem that we cannot fix
On our own.
So we need to go to a professional. But no, we're like,
we gonna fix this on our own, even though we
No,
got a
not
problem
even.
we can't fix
We're
on
just
our
like,
own.
we're just going to exist and let the problem linger for years.
Yes.
And then we finally pieced that part of the puzzle together, which took us years. We still do not know why. And then we did online therapy. Online couples therapy.
And it's the one that everyone, and we're not bashing whatever, but clearly for us,
I don't even remember the
work
name
for
of the
us.
app.
It didn't work for us, and it's the one that I'm sure a lot of us in the past, maybe the last year and the year before, you heard
A lot
this
of promotion
company,
for it.
a lot of people were pushed this company on their
Yeah.
podcast. People, to be honest, I guess it was the only one really that. It was the one that stood out in the crowd when it comes to
Yeah, I guess they had great
virtual.
marketing.
Yeah, when it comes to virtual therapy.
Yeah, so we tried that, and that was just a no-go.
Yeah,
And I got all my money back.
it just didn't. It just
Because
didn't.
I was like, nope, you did not meet the terms of your condition, right?
Yeah.
The condition of your terms, the terms of, I don't know. You did not meet the layout that you said that you would meet, and therefore I want all my money back. Don't even try to prorate me, sis. Give me all my coinage back.
This was Vicky's. Can I talk to your manager moment?
No, I did. I blasted them with such a long email, with screenshots, with timestamps, with records. Like, I was not playing. I wanted down to the penny back because it was just such bad service. So that didn't really do anything for our growth. And then we were like, okay, online ain't working. We need to see somebody in person. And then we went to see someone in person, and they were a good therapist.
Mm-hmm.
They were just not a good therapist for us.
It was and I've heard about that before. And for us, it was, we're talking about our transparency today. So we'll do our best to be even more transparent today.
Yeah.
So there was one thing we can agree on. There was a cultural barrier. Our
There
therapist,
was a cultural barrier.
our therapist was white, and Vicky and I clearly are not. And Vicky is Dominican. I'm Guyanese. So they are.
And this person was American.
Yeah. So,
which to me is a big difference. Like,
yeah. So even if they weren't white, maybe
yeah,
they did,
like
yeah.
you could be black, but because you're American, I just feel like I know there is still a cultural barrier between African Americans and I hate that term. But Black Americans and then Black people from other countries. There's just it's different when you come from an immigrant family. Because like me and Ode have a lot more in common than me and a Black American. Definitely. Or like you and a Black American, your similarities are the experiences you guys go through as Black people in America, not so much here is culturally this is what we do. You'd have more in common with me than with them. Yeah. So it just on that level, it just did not work.
We did that for 7 sessions, maybe or more.
And on the 7th session, it was like kaboom. Shit went crazy. Even the therapist was like, "Yeah, this is a no-go."
She's like, you are at that point in your relationship or in therapy when the therapist even says, unsolicited, I also offer services to help people, separate. That's when you're like, oh, wait. Did we get to a boiling point? So this was a while back.
No, we blew up.
Yeah.
Not on the therapist. We blew up together.
To each other,
yeah. And then the therapist was like, okay, if you guys want to separate, then, it just seems like this is a good idea because this is just,
Yeah.
And then we were like, no, we're going to stay together and torture each other. So.
Because misery loves company.
And then we had another big explosion, which led us to this therapist.
Yes.
And this therapist is a really good match.
Awesome match.
And also these were all like learning curves, right? Because we would think we're in whatever century this is. Online is the way to go. We like to do everything virtual anyways. So
but Rona.
And we thought the online therapy would work just fine, but it didn't. And then we met with someone and we were like, okay, now I see why it's important that you have people that look like you, that know, that come from your background, be, your therapist and stuff. So we took all of those things into account when we found this therapist.
And as much as we love our therapist, we're just going to refer to him as our therapist because he's
Right.
not paying us ad money. So if you're listening to this, our therapist, and you want us to say your name and the name of your practice, then send that Cash App.
So we found our therapist, and I mean, how's it going, Ode?
How do we start? How do we get to this?
Because we're being transparent.
Therapy.
We got to this point because you said...
I mentioned that part of being transparent is that therapy has helped us be transparent with the podcast. Or
yes.
Therapy has not helped us be transparent, helped us get through
Being transparent on the podcast.
Yeah. So it's been a journey. It's been very enlightening because
we just started this journey.
Yeah,
too,
because one thing about couples, there is no way you go into in my opinion, go into couples therapy and it doesn't somehow turn into some personal solo therapy, and both parties realizing things that they probably haven't realized before. Even if even if you swear, I know me, I've taken time to get to know me.
Yeah, you still discover something.
You're gonna learn something. Yeah, we all have daddy issues.
Yeah, those like. It doesn't always have to be negative either. Like those dots never connected for me on ABC. Like, oh damn, that makes so much sense. Like you don't realize those things sometimes unless you're talking them out, and you're not really always talking those things out with someone who can offer you an unbiased opinion.
We've gotten. I'm gonna speak for myself. I would say.
Speak for yourself. You have a bad habit of doing that.
And where did we learn this?
Therapy.
I've definitely gotten better at navigating those times when we are just butting heads. Not saying I've become great at it. I've gotten better, and better could be like
just slightly better.
Yeah, like as you pointed out, in the past, prior to therapy, if it took me 10 minutes to completely dismiss myself from the conversation, now it takes me 12 minutes. It takes me a little longer to dismiss. So I'm
just get up and be like,
yeah. So I'm getting better at it, and hopefully, eventually, I will not dismiss myself from the conversation when I've reached my boiling point. I've gotten better.
No, we're laughing, but
this is 100%.
And I think you give yourself a lot of credit there.
Oh, so it's just 10.5 minutes?
Wait, you're saying that at the first time you can sit through a 10-minute conversation?
No, I'm saying in the past.
I'm saying you gave yourself too much credit on the 10 minutes. I would say scale that down.
Okay, so in the past, when I would sit in a conversation and within 5 minutes I would get pissed off. No. In the past, now we can start a conversation and within 5 minutes I'll get pissed off. Where that might sound bad, but in the past, I am not sitting down for the conversation.
Yo, for real.
I'm just like, just forget it.
And then
I'm good.
Then not talk to me for 3 to 4 days.
And I am totally fine with it.
Yeah. How do you feel about yourself saying that? This is not a laughing matter, but guys, you have no idea what we've been
We would
through.
Interact. We just wouldn't.
First of all, no, the hell we would not. I would interact with you.
And I would answer.
Unless it was if it required more than 2 words, then you would not answer.
Here's some growth that I've seen in you. In the past, we would be having one of these big blow-ups, and prior to therapy, Vicky would say, "You know what? It's 3 a.m. I have a lot on my brain. Ode should wake up and hear this. Let me confront him at 3 a.m. while he's sleeping." Now, post-therapy, just the other day, we had a blow-up, and you had one of those moments at 2 a.m. where you said,
I did. I couldn't
"You know what?
sleep.
I should give him a piece of my mind." And then you stopped and said, "No, let me not wake him up because growth."
Yeah,
and because, what is it? Let me be his peace, not his panic.
Okay, no. We're gonna be serious.
Okay, but
serious.
But seriously, okay. From your end, same question you asked me, which I think was the question. How do you feel about our level of transparency? Is it uncomfortable?
I just feel, okay, this is the truth. I'm always like, I keep it real 100%. You know me.
100.
I'm gully.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get.
If you can't handle what's that stupid phrase you gave me a couple years ago? If you can't handle me at my worst,
then you don't deserve me at my best.
Whoa. I just remember you saying that, and I was like, yo, shut the hell up. Yo, I wanted to.
So, I think that I never cared because that's always been my approach. Like, I'm honest. I'm pretty much like, what you see is what you get. And I'm so lazy that I just find it hard to be someone on the screen and someone off the screen, and then trying to manage those when those two lives intersect.
Okay.
So that's why I feel like, I don't really mind being honest and being transparent or whatever. But I never felt like we were 100% transparent because, we are like a freaking, what is it, iceberg? Are those things floating in the ocean that are like melting?
Okay. Yeah.
The thing that Titanic slammed into?
Sure. I'm sure there's
an iceberg?
Yeah.
Sure.
Ice mass?
It's definitely not called an ice mass.
I don't know.
How it's like, it's a little bit sticks out no matter how big it is. Iceberg, and then in the bottom it's like huge.
Iceberg, straight ahead. Was that the line?
I don't
from
know.
The movie?
But that is us. Like, what you see is all above water. And then what you don't see, what you don't hear, what you don't know, that huge rest of the damn iceberg is under the water. Which is why I feel like, oh, you think we're transparent? Like, damn, sis, you don't even know.
You don't even know
You don't even
how
know.
big that iceberg under the water is.
Yeah,
and how cracked it is.
One, I appreciate because it's not we're being fake, but there are some things that, for the sake of our peace,
yes,
we just don't feel comfortable discussing. And when we do, if we ever do, it will be something that it is so far removed from our relationship that anything that stirs up will have zero effect on us. And we had to come to that because when we would record, like, Ode has unfinished recordings that went maybe 3 minutes. Like, because we would start talking about something and it'd be like, yo, we could do this right now if you want to do it. Because, like, the thing is, Ode has a temper that no one ever wants to give him the credit for having. And I have a temper that everyone overextends the credit to give me.
Give credit where it's due, yeah?
Yeah, but they overdo the credit on me. Like, they overdo it on me, and, like, they take the credit that you deserve, and they just throw it all on me.
Somebody got to carry the weight.
So, I'm like, I turn into, like, a, kind of like, just like an animal from the wild. Like, yo, you trying to challenge me? And I feel disrespected. Like, I feel like sometimes, well, in the past when we were recording, I would feel like Ode's trying to, like, sun me. Yeah. That's so, like, a East Coast thing. Yeah. Like, he's trying to sun me, but, and I would be like, you're not about to sun me. Like, let's put it all on the table. Let's do this. And then it just gets really, really bad. And Ode's like, we'll record later. And then we won't talk for, like, a week. Just off of that, like, 3-minute interaction.
A lot of times we'll make it through the episode, but we've said this before. The moment we click, the moment I say, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the You, Me, We Pod. Before I even get to the cast,
I'm already out.
We're both like, or you're probably seeing some of the videos, like that last millisecond, you'll see both of us just be like, just take the headphones off, roll our eyes, and part ways.
That is the truth. And when I watch episodes in the past, I cringe because I'm like, oh my God. as much as we pretend that we were like,
we hide it.
Like,
Yeah.
yo, the tension, the way we're speaking to each other. See, that's another thing. Growth. And thank you, YouTube. Well, thank you to you to Ode and my friend that pressured me to do video. Because I did not want to do video. But now that, well, since we did it and I would watch those, I'd be like, oh my God, like, just look at us. We're just like, you could tell, like, yo, there's so much tension between our conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about a look at God moment. Episode 50. God was like, you know what? I'm going to make you forget to turn the camera on. I'm going to make you forget to click record on the cameras. Because although you probably heard the cringeworthiness in the audio, I'm positive.
Anyone who watched it.
I'm positive the video. Yeah. Oh, we did go live.
Yeah.
So we had a video. It just wasn't like the best angles and quality because we did it from like the iPad that's in off to the distance. But I know the visuals of that would have added to the cringe-worthiness because there would have been on both of our faces. There would have been anger. There would have been resentment. There would have been just straight up like, I'll do the bid for this murder. You know.
Yo. And you know what I'll never forget about that recording was Donald. He's like, y'all are getting married. Why are you doing this? like the fact that Donald was like, hello, even I know this is a pending disaster. Why are you guys doing this? And my response was honest. This was Ode's idea. So if Ode wants to do it and I'm over here like he ain't about to son me, I'ma do it too.
I thought we were in a place where we could have that conversation.
And we were not. Because of the podcast, I feel that we learned our limits of what we were actually ready to discuss and actually being comfortable saying, hey, I'm not really ready to discuss this.
Because we've said that a couple times where somebody brought up a topic and we were like,
we're not there.
Yet, nah.
Yeah.
Do you think I'll ask you, have I ever said too much?
You do that all the time.
But can you think of like a moment where it was like, I wish he hadn't said that, or?
No, because we edit. But I think maybe in the beginning that may have happened more than now. And the reason why is not that because I'm calling you out, is because you call yourself out. You're like,
Yeah. There's definitely episodes where unknownst, whatever.
Unknownst.
We definitely have some episodes out there where unknowns to the listener, there's like in a 2-minute like period of time, there's literally like 15 minutes missing.
Yeah.
That I personally took out and said, you know what, we're saying too much, or this doesn't look good. And it's not, it was Vicky or it was me. To me, this isn't a good look. This doesn't need to be on the air, or it just didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure eventually we addressed it on our own, but there's several times I remember taking out chunks of things that I've said, things that you've said, things that we said together.
Because again, we're in the moment.
Yeah.
We're in the moment and we're like, you want to do this? Yeah, right, fine, let's do it. So like in the moment, you're not thinking rationally. You're going off of the high of emotions and you're like all ramped up and you're like, all right, let's do this. Then let's do this. And we'll have like a straight up 20-minute conversation. And then they'll be like,
not realizing.
No. Cut.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. There are things we have recorded and we had to take out.
Yeah.
There are recordings where we didn't even make it past the first 5 minutes.
Prime example, what you guys are hearing right now, I literally just took out a little piece because the example I was going to give, that's not what I wanted to say. So I took that piece out.
Why did you say that?
I know.
I'm like, why would you say that? I've never said that on a recording.
That was the natural. Like, yeah, we just took that part out. Wow.
I don't know why you would do.
Part of me was like, nah, son, leave that in. What they see is what they get. But I was like, you cannot leave that.
Yeah, do not leave that. That's how people get caught up in court.
It's like, my goodness, the Canarsie in me just came out.
How?
Isn't that how they dance in Brooklyn now? I gotta ask my little brother. And then they like, in my day, it was. Now it's.
You're so annoying. Do you feel that?
Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you feel that being transparent has taken away from the relationship?
Taken away? What do you mean taken away?
Like, do you feel like it has hurt the relationship in any way, recording this podcast and choosing to be transparent?
No. It has helped because it has some of our transparent moments that led to like arguments or awkward moments following it have led to great conversations off air between you and I, as well as conversations between some listeners and us, like, individually.
Yeah.
Like, I've had friends reach out and say, yo, I heard that piece. Here's what happened with me, and then I've learned from it, or you've learned from it. Sometimes we've taken some of that to therapy, and we've learned and grown, and we both grew from it, from the conversation we had with our therapist. So, no, so I think it's definitely helped. It's helped us on air, our on-air abilities and our on-air process, but definitely off air as well, because we've learned from, I want to say we've learned from each and every, or a majority of those moments.
You know, I think about why we started this podcast, and it's so funny. We started the podcast. Well, on the low, I wanted to start a podcast because I wanted to force Ode to spend time with me.
That's how bad it was.
Talking to me. And I was like, I will cross into his world. This is not my thing. And it's not because I don't like public speaking. I'm great at public speaking. You put me on the spot, I'll do it. I'm not scared. I ain't scared of nothing. Except roller coasters in the dark. But
did we ever tell both of those stories? The roller coaster story and the like
we've mentioned
house?
the haunted house one, but I don't think the roller coaster one.
We'll get into it someday.
Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll do a podcast. But we both actually naturally came to each other talking about, hey, we should do a podcast. How everybody, why you want to do a podcast? Because I hear people do podcasts and they're not talking about the things that I feel that need to be talked about. Fine. That was my Lolo why I wanted to start the podcast. But we were like, we have such a story. And I know people are going to be fronting and they could lie and they could lead their double lives pretending like they ain't got problems, but everybody got problems in their relationship. And we are the masters of problems in relationships. So why don't we...
Not the masters of handling problems.
No. Just the masters of surviving enough to not hurt each other physically. We're the masters of coexisting inside the problems without being physical in a bad way. So we were like, I was like, I gotta clean that up. So we were like, yo, we have a story. And then we're like, we're not gonna tell that story though. No, we're not gonna tell that story either. Yeah, no, we can't tell that story either. And like, we didn't realize, like, we cannot talk about. So like, we don't talk about things directly about us, but we still are very honest about the topics we come up with and how that relates to us to a certain extent. We're like transparent about it, but the discourse you see us having on air, that's not fake. That's for real. And like, whenever the tension is deep, it's like, that's for real too.
Really real.
Yeah. and you didn't. I cut you off earlier on, but you
don't do it again.
But you didn't get to say why we started this topic was because your friend was listening.
Yeah, and he had mentioned that a lot of our cringeworthy, or some of our transparent moments for him are very cringeworthy, which I'm sure for other people they are. And sometimes for us, we might not say it to each other, but mid-conversation, we're probably both thinking, oh,
Me is when I watch it like weeks later. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my
No,
God.
but I feel like we're probably thinking, oh, but like you said, we're so in the moment. We're like, nah, screw that cringe stuff. Listen, and
Yeah,
then we're screaming at each
yeah.
other. But yeah, I've definitely had some people say that, and
Me too.
again, we both are like, really? Because yo,
You don't
if
even
you knew
know.
the real reason why I was so mad that day, or if you know what happened afterward, I think one thing some people have probably learned over the span of our 90 episodes is, hey, they just missed a week. I think we all know what happened. They probably had an argument, and that's pretty much it. If we ever miss a
No, for
week,
real. If we miss a week, very rarely has it ever been because
schedule or
Yeah, very rarely.
technical difficulties, it's because we just was not feeling each other that
yeah,
week.
it was like, yo, que se vaya toda la mierda.
Yo,
I don't
bruh,
give a
son.
damn. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, they could take the podcast and shove it up his ass. I don't give a damn. Close that shit down.
Damn.
That's me. That's me immediately. Always like, shut it down.
This escalated quickly.
Well, that's how I feel. Well, you know me. I always want to shut it down. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, if there's a problem and if you're telling me there's nothing else to talk about, then I just want to close it. Close that chapter, close that book, and let's keep it pushing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and like, let me sulk on my own time, but I'm not about to sit here and sulk with you. Like, shut it down.
What's is there anything you would say, yo, if we ever started, I guess without saying too much, if we ever started leaning towards XYZ, I'm gonna have to shut it down right there. Is there something that you can think of?
What do you mean?
Is there a topic or a conversation that we would ever start that you know for a fact, even if it started organically, I'm gonna have to shut that conversation down because even though we're in therapy and things are going well, we are not ready to talk about that, or I'm not ready. Like, without saying too much, but still teasing the listeners a little bit.
2014 and back.
So in 2014 and back in detail. I feel like we've hinted at 2014 and back.
No, we haven't.
You think?
No.
I think
we can ask right now, what do you guys think we're talking about when we say 2014 and back? And I promise you that you're not going to get a steady flow of answers. It's just going to say, oh, it sounds like it was like a hard time between you guys.
Define hard.
Right. Like they won't be able to do that. We've hinted it was tumultuous.
Yeah.
Troublesome. But we've never, not even like generically said what happened, but we've never... No, in detail. I don't care to have the conversation. Because like I said, throughout my life I have learned, and this is prior to you as well. I am one of those people, like, I just don't like people putting me on blast. Like I've never enjoyed watching other people do it to other people. Like, I feel like everyone should just fester in their own shit. Like, step in it, live in it, fester in your own crap. They're like don't hide on it. Like, if you did it, own up to it. Even if it takes you forever, just own up to it. Like, don't, like, if someone approaches you about it, or like, you know, like I would be the worst person to blackmail. Cause I'm a Kevin Hart that shit. Like, all right, bitch,
Yeah.
kiss my ass. I'll just blast myself.
Better example would be like Eminem as B Rabbit. I only say that because I think like the Kevin Hart example is because I got caught. Let me try to get ahead of it. You already got caught and blasted, but anyway. I say B.
I meant Kevin Hart in the sense of like that he wasn't gonna let nobody try to blackmail him.
Yeah,
that's what I meant. You know, I didn't mean it that way. I meant it as in like I'm not gonna let nobody try to blackmail me for nothing. I live in my truth. That's what I was trying to get at. What I was trying to get at is that I live in my truth, and I don't mind having that conversation. However, I do know what I'm opening with that conversation, and not just in regards to you, but just the can of worms that I'd be opening. To me, is it worth it? Right now, hails to the no. Would it be worth it ever? I mean, unless it's like that I'm helping someone navigate their own bullshit. That's the only time I feel like it would be worth it. But I don't care to discuss it. Not because I'm trying to preserve myself or a certain image or whatever. It's mainly because I just don't want to deal with the bullshit that may happen. Like, that's just a door that I don't feel like opening because I don't know what else will fall out of it. You know, and not that anything that comes through it, which we've had this conversation about, like, my concerns about that.
Yeah.
Which is like I don't have a problem opening the door. My concern is that at that point you can't control what comes out of that door. Could be true, could be false. You're opening the door. It's like when people sage their houses.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, there's a certain way to do that, because when you do that, you're just opening the door to all spirits, not just good spirits. So there is a way for you to do that. You don't just go around buying sage and going like this to your house, because you're literally opening the portal to all the souls that can come through that door. It could be evil ones. It could be ones that are trying to hurt you. Like, it's not just the good ones that are trying to protect you. That's what I mean. So, in that sense, I don't mind to talk about it. I just, right now, like, we have come to a point with the podcast of, we know how much we as a couple can handle. That doesn't mean that what Ode can handle, I too can handle, and vice versa.
Talk to him.
But we as a couple, there's certain things that we just cannot handle right here recording. There are conversations that we, like, full transparency. There is a pending conversation from this weekend that needs to be had. But I have growth, and I realize that I am not capable of carrying that conversation by myself, and therefore we need the therapist.
Am I aware of this conversation, or are you about to blindside me with something brand new that we didn't address? Or is it something from...
It's something from the weekend.
Okay.
That's why earlier I was like, we want to talk about the weekend, right, with the therapist?
Okay.
So my point is, there's a conversation that I want to have. I can't have that conversation. I've realized from all the times that I've tried and failed, I just can't. I cannot maneuver that kind of conversation. I need to present my concerns to the therapist and let the therapist guide me into properly communicating that to you, and guide you to properly listen to what I'm saying, because that's still something we are learning. We're still learning how to properly communicate, because even like now, all, you know, the counseling that we've been going pretty, like, I think we've missed only 1 week of counseling, or 1 or 2 weeks.
Two tops.
Yeah, but we've been pretty consistent with counseling, and any work that he gives us to do, we do it. But even still, we will catch ourselves, like, while we are passionately conversing, where I'm like, I am still talking, and you're trying to talk over me, and you're like, I don't care, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Like, we still have a problem with talking. No, not just you, cause sometimes when you're talking, I'm like, and you're like, hold on, let me finish, and I'm like, ooh, I just wanna say what I gotta say, but we still have a problem with, like, listening. Actively listening, which means responding to what the person is saying, and not just responding in totality, and not just responding because you want to get what you want to say out, you know. So, yeah.
So I want to say it's safe to say, to speak on behalf of both of us, to say we are going to continue to be honest.
Yeah, we're honest
and transparent. I feel like we're not deliberately trying to be transparent, but we are deliberately being honest with you all.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to do that as we go on.
And we'll be honest about what we go through.
Yeah.
But we have definitely reached a point where we're like, this ain't it. Yeah. Shut it down. Shut it down.
So Vicky, before I jump into our questions for the week, I want to show you a video. And what's something you want from me? What's something you want me to do for you, with you? And I want to show you a video.
Okay.
And if you can keep a straight face and just straight face watch that video for like 10 seconds or whatever.
Okay.
If you can straight face watch that video,
Damn, why you gonna call me out like this in front of the people?
no reaction.
Okay, so I gotta put my RBF face?
Yes, I will fulfill that thing that you want me to do with you or place you want to go, okay? If you can watch this video.
I don't know what I
Ready?
want.
Are you down? Are you in agreement?
Okay, but can I tell you afterwards what I want?
No, you gotta tell me now. You gotta say it first.
I don't know.
Just pick something. Pick something that you would like me to do. And if you can...
It's not going to sound so desperate and thirsty.
Or then I'll show it to you. And then if you pass the test, you can pick something.
I'll tell you, and I'll tell you afterwards.
Ready? Remember, straight. So straight. Face straight.
Okay, hold on.
Straight face. No.
Say something that'll piss me off.
I don't know. Ode.
Okay, hold on.
Ready? You got to keep a straight face. You got to watch it for like 10 to 15 seconds.
Okay, hold on.
She's getting ready. She's in her zone. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. That's real? Mm-mm. That's nasty. You know what that makes me think of, right?
For those who are listening, you're not watching the video, you're listening. I just showed Vicky a video that I came across on TikTok. I'm trying to watch it while saying this. And it's a person letting their pet rat just, not just kiss them, but they're letting their pet rat like investigate their mouth. And they're like in the mouth looking for food and picking at whatever they're able to find.
Oh, can you take that off?
So, I was like, yo, I gotta show Vicky this. But I was like, you know what? Let me show it to her on air. Anyways, why are people like this?
I don't
Leave it
know.
at that. All right, Vicky, let's ask some questions.
Okay.
Pick a card, and I'll pick a random card
Pick
as well.
a card. He picked it for me.
Yep.
Okay.
Vicky, you go first. Wow, I like this one. This is a nice little segment that we do where we ask each other questions.
Okay,
There's many card games like this out there. We encourage you guys to get them. They're nice conversation starters. There's games out there that have cards for people in relationships, for friendships, for family. So go out and get you one.
Okay. I ask you first.
Yes, you go first.
Put yourself in my shoes. What do you see?
What do I see in you? And
Put yourself in my shoes.
And what do I see?
Mm-hmm.
I see a life. I see things that I've always wanted, things that I've worked towards. However, they're not how I want them to be at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what you see right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I would see if I was to step into your Louis Vuitton red bottom shoes. I don't know, is that the red bottom brand?
I don't know. I don't have those.
Vicky, in what ways do you believe in me? Talk to your boy.
What does that mean? In what ways?
What are ways that you believe in me? For my ego, at least give me one.
No, I don't. I don't
joking.
know. How do you answer that? Like, what do you mean? What ways?
I don't know. What aspects of my life do you believe in me? What?
Mm.
I guess that's how I That's how I
Understood it.
understood it. Yeah.
Okay. I believe in your drive for work.
Mm-hmm.
Like being good at your job. Not being good, but being like
Better than Jake. I wake up every morning and say to myself, how can I be better than Jake today?
just being the man at work. That's what I feel like you always aim for.
Mm.
I believe in you wanting to be a good dad.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Transparency.
Just keeping it 100.
Right. Jot that down for the therapist.
Yeah, I'm like, what time do we see the therapist? Because
All right, let's end on a positive note. Vicky, anything positive you want to shout out? Or anything you've seen, anything you've experienced? I definitely have one. So if you don't mind, for this week, I want to shout out my brother, my friend, my pastor, Reverend Dr. George Ventura. Last week was a week of success for George. Years and years of hard work, I would say, kind of came together. Not only did he receive successfully defended his dissertation and acquire his doctoral degree, George was also installed as the official head of New Walk Church in South Plainfield. So I want to shout out George. I was honored to be a part of that whole production on Saturday. So shout out to you, the entire New Walk family, your beautiful family. I got to Photoshop myself into their group picture they took that day. I'll have that ready by tomorrow. So my positive of the week is to shout you out, George. Love you, brother. And looking forward to many, many more years of success and accomplishments on your end. All right? Vicky.
Congratulations.
On behalf of the You, Me, We podcast, Vicky, what's some positives you want to shout out this week?
I want to shout out myself.
Okay. That's what we're doing. That's what we are doing.
I want to shout out myself because...
How you handled this weekend?
No.
You should.
No. I want to shout out myself because I needed a social media break.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought ahead and separated my Instagrams from personal to people I just follow because they post cool stuff.
So you got
people I know and people that just post content, what I would consider content. And because I needed that social media break, I was able to just take down my personal Instagram and stay on my Finsta and just look at the accounts that make me happy.
Awesome. So what's your Finsta's at?
Mind Your Business.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't follow. I only follow accounts that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a picture. It's not even in my name. And I have no friends. Why would I have friends? I'm just there to lurk.
Awesome.
And lurk only on accounts that make me happy. So I'm not like lurking at people's pages that I want to know about. I don't have any of those.
And with that said, thank you all for tuning into this episode 90.
Episode 90.
Awesome. And we have decided what we're going to do for episode 100, and we're going to start working on that shortly.
We were aiming to go to do something live.
Yeah, but we have something better, in my opinion. We have something much better that works for this new normal that we're in.
Yeah.
And with that said, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the You, Me, We podcast.